Greg, Draper, early days yet, of course, but the new Saints women, unbeaten so far, joint top of the table, leading goal scorers in the league, a victory and a draw on the road, both in South Wales. As you reflect in these early stages, we must emphasise, of course, are you happy so far with what you see?
Yeah, delighted. I think you look back 24 months ago, 12 months ago, it was a completely different story. I think on both occasions we were probably rock bottom of the table after 2 games. So, like I say, it is only 2 games in, so we can't get too carried away with what's gone on. But yeah, I must say we're in a much better position these days. 2 tricky away games we've had, obviously long trips down to South Wales. So take 4 points out of those 2 games any day of the week, really. So yeah, we're happy with where we're at. Obviously scoring a lot of goals, like you say, which I think teams are fully aware of how strong we are attacking wise. Unfortunately, we've obviously conceded so many goals last Sunday, but that's the way that we'll play. We'll play attacking football. Unfortunately, that's going to leave us exposed at the back sometimes, but we won't change that. It's just a case of carrying on what we're doing up front and just trying to tighten things up at the back slightly, just to take a little bit of pressure off the forward players, I guess.
You mentioned last season there, particularly at the start, we do make reference to the previous campaign. And of course, where the team is now, it has come on in leaps and bounds. Do you often look back and then see where we are and then reflect on those positives, which of course will then launch you into an ongoing forward plan for the club?
Yeah, I think I've sort of got a bad habit of probably not seeing the bigger picture. So take last Sunday for instance. I straight after the whistle, I sort of saw it as 2 points dropped. Certainly before the game, it was. You look at as mentioned after the game, you look at the 2 teams on paper before the game. We should be coming away from there with 3 points these days. But yeah, like you say, look at the bigger picture and compare where we're at now to where we were last season beforehand. We've come a heck of a long way in such a short period of time. So yeah, I think I've got to keep my feet on the ground really. And I think the progress that we made last season, it's you're not going to be able to continue to accelerate at that sort of development really. So yeah, look, the girls are doing great. Everyone, staff have been superb as well. So we're carrying on. We're continuing to move in the right direction. That is the bigger picture, really. That's all that we want to do, is keep moving in the right direction, and and we're certainly doing that.
We've also made reference as well to the big 3, as we've called them, the 2 Cardiff teams, Swansea City as well. With Wrexham newly promoted to the top flight, they're up there as well with the new Saints. Do you see perhaps the balance of power changing over time in top flight women's football in Wales?
Yeah, I certainly think the league, already you could probably tell that the league's certainly stronger for having Wrexham in it. I don't think Swansea aren't the team that they were compared to probably 3 or 4 years ago, where they were probably a level above everyone else. Teams have obviously caught them up. Cardiff City have obviously caught them up, and they're on a par with them now, I guess. So it's a case of the rest of the league really trying to catch those 2 up, which I think is happening sort of year on year over the last sort of year or 2. Wrexham obviously started really well. We wasn't overly sure what to expect from them, but they've started really well, coming up from the league below. So 4 points from their first 2 games as well. Cardiff City have obviously dropped points already as well. So yeah, it's tight at the top, and I think obviously, like I say, we're only 2 games in, but certainly over the next 3 or 4 weeks, I think the league table will start to take shape, and we'll have a better idea of where everyone's at.
And we are back to Parkhall this coming Sunday. Cardiff City, that will be a tough test. We've played them 8 times so far in domestic Welsh football, and we've yet to pick up a single point. So would you see this as a litmus test of where you are at this moment in time?
Yeah, it will certainly, certainly, like I said, it will certainly give us a good eye opener as to where we're at. We've obviously strengthened this season with the girls that we've brought in. They've all made a great impact. But yeah, this is obviously going to be our biggest test yet. So you said we're at home. We're actually away on Sunday again. So yeah, 3 away games on the spin. I think it's, I wasn't sure about it at the start. But if you look at it, we get 3 tricky away games out the way, and then that will set us up nicely. I think up until Christmas, the only away trip that we do is Wrexham away. So it's obviously only 15 minutes up the road. So get next week out the way, or get this Sunday out the way, sorry. And then that will set us up nicely. So yeah, if we can get out of these first 3 games without losing the game, with the run of home games that we've got to follow. That will set us up really nicely for the run into Christmas.
My mistake there, Greg. Of course, we are on the road for the third Sunday on the bounce. What about the preparations? You have a couple of days during the week with the girls. Would you like to have a third session, or is that not really practical for players that aren't full-time professionals?
Yeah, I mean, we do have 2 very good sessions with them. We've had 2 great sessions this week. Certainly, I think, the long-term plan is to go to at least 3 nights a week as soon as we can. Certainly, once the new pitches are developed across the way, then that will be the first sort of priority, is working out how we can get a third session in. Because, yeah, we're sort of continuing to work hard on how we can keep moving the team and the club forward. And obviously, the more training sessions we can have, the better. So, yeah, it's certainly something that we've talked about, something we're looking at the moment. Mainly just due to pitch space, really. It's not a practical option, but like I say, when that's available, then that'll be one of the first things that we bring in.
Well, you've had the training sessions with 3 days away from the game itself. At this stage, do you have the starting 11 in mind, or are you still open as to who takes to the pitch on Sunday?
Yeah, absolutely not. It's myself and Sean probably won't have the team nailed down till, last Sunday it was literally on the coach on the way down there before we sort of fully decided for various reasons. We had sickness to one player, which ruled her out on the day, so obviously things had to change then. But just come back to the strength of squad that we've got now. It is a real sort of real selection headache, really. And this Sunday will be no different. Trying to work out, we've got so many different options these days that don't get me wrong, it's a positive, but it's certainly a head scratcher trying to work out the best starting 11 to go with.
And finally, Greg, what's the general injury situation as you go into this Sunday's game?
Yeah, everyone's fine. We've got a full squad to choose from. Tia's got over her little hamstring niggle that's ruled her out last Sunday. So, I must say that injury-wise, we're in a great position now. We obviously had sort of long-term injuries to Shan and Chloe over pre-season. James, the physio, has done a great job with those 2, making sure that we got them back in time for the start of the season. We got 90 minutes into them both last Sunday, and they were absolutely fine. So, that 90 minutes would have done them the world of good, get the rustiness out of the legs, and they'll be raring to go again on Sunday.